Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm doing a deck profile for the new, one of the new Paras Pokemon that was revealed to be in their new set, and that's going to be the Raging Bolt EX. That's going to be coming to us, I believe, in April. I think is when this will be legal for tournament play. And this is honestly, I think it is a really big buff for the Lost Zone like Paradox deck that was already kind of existed with Roaring Moon. That the main kind of advantage to playing the Raging Bolt over the Roaring Moon is of its bulk. This guy with 240 HP, as well as being able to attach Bravery Charm to it, can give this guy 290 HP, which Roaring Moon just doesn't have, right? When he uses Frenzy's Gouging and one-shot something, it goes down all the way to 30 HP. But this, similarly to Roaring Moon, it can clear a Pokemon out of the way, as well as stay with that big 290 HP to stay in play. So I think there's a lot of things going for this Raging Bolt Lost Zone list. I just wanted to talk about a little bit. So this is going to be post-rotation, which means we do actually lose, notably Battle VIP Pass, which is actually a pretty big hit for this deck, because you'll notice the only, actual search card we have left is Nest Ball, which Lost Zone decks already played for before. So just kind of losing some search cards for your Comfeys might be kind of bad. So I've tried to compensate for that by adding 2 copies of Artisan, as well as a copy of Ultra Ball, just for a little bit more search. And because we actually have the copy of Ultra Ball, that Lumineon is pretty decent as well to help us find our courses. And because we also play Lumineon, it means we can also play Forest Hill Stone. And because we play Forest Hill Stone, means we can also play a couple Town Stores to help us search out all these other tools we were running. Alongside Forest Hill Stone, we're playing an EXP share, which can save an energy from a Sableye, and then allowing you to take a one-shot with Raging Bolt EX. Its attack, which for a lightning and a fighting, you discard any amount of energy on your board, and you do 70 for each one you discard. So if you discard 4, which is kind of the magic number, you're dealing to 80. And so, say for example, you save energy from a Sableye with this, then only turn attachment, as well as 1 Mirage Gate, will get each that forward hit to 80, as well as then not having to spend 2 Mirage Gates on one kind of big blow up with the Raging Bolt, which I think is pretty solid. You can also, since we only play 2 Psychic Energies, if you want to bench both Sableye and EXP Share on the other to guarantee you're going to have another Lost Mine, which also sounds pretty decent. So I think this is a pretty solid inclusion, as well as 2 Bravery Charm, which, like I mentioned, can be used to bulk up your Raging Bolt, as well as your Iron Hands, because we have to play Lightning Energy for the Raging Bolt. That means that we can actually still retain the Iron Hands part of the Lost Zone Paradox deck, which is part of what makes it super good into other Lost Zone decks, Gardevoir, stuff like that. And then the rest of the list, I think, is pretty standard. We do get to include Prime Catcher, which is a huge buff A-Spec, of course, being a switch and a Boss's Orders on the same card as an item is incredibly strong, especially for a Lost Zone deck, which usually only needs about 1 boss effect per game, as well as being another switch effect. For Lost Zone, this card just kind of slots extremely well into Lost Zone decks. So it's pretty solid card. We are still playing a Roxanne as well, which, of course, we can more easily search out with our Lumineon. Our energy count is 3 basic lightning, 3 basic water, 2 basic psychic, and then 2 basic fighting. And the reason for these is that lightning we need to use for both our Iron Hands and our Raging Bolt. Water, we need at least 2 of them to be able to attack the Raging Greninja. So I want to play at least 2. And then we also have the room for the third because Raging Bolt actually doesn't specify any specific type of energy. So we can attach a water energy to our board and discard it, which just gives us a lot more space to play with our basic energy counts in here. Additionally, 2 copies of basic psychic energy to, of course, be with our Sableye, as well as 2 copies of basic fighting energy. And there is a world where if you want to I don't know how good Iron Hands is going to be in this format. Miraidon's probably going to still be pretty decent, I have to imagine. There's a world where you could increase the fighting energy count and then play a fighting attacker, such as Groudon, Reggie Rock I was looking at, also the ancient Volcarona, I forget what it's called at this moment. You can play those 2 to help deal with Iron Hands a little bit more. And as another strength of the Raging Bolt is that you can deal with a charmed Iron Hands relatively easily. Just like 4 energy, you just go clear it out of the way, which is pretty good. But if you discover this doesn't have as good of a time to Iron Hands, or if Iron Hands is especially relevant in this post-rotation format, there was a world where you include a fighting attacker and then up those counts of base energy. But for now, it's only needed in order to attack with our Raging Bolt. We, of course, have kind of the standard. We have the 8 switching cards. Escape Rope did rotate, so we are going to be playing regular switches over those. Not nearly as good. Escape Rope is pretty good for forcing stuff down to the bench, but we are going to make do with what we got. So we're playing 4 copies of Switch, 4 copies of Switch cards as well, 4 Super Rod. This goes where we only have 10 basic energies, and we're going to be discarding them pretty aggressively if we plan on attacking with Raging Bolt. So I think the 4 copies of Super Rod is pretty merited, as well as only 2 copies of Sableye, 2 copies of Psychic. Usually want a higher Super Rod count when you're only playing the 2 Psychics to go with 2 Sableye. 2 Lost Vacuum, because we have a good amount of fodder for them. We have our Bravery Charm, that's 2, 4 Sealstone, EXP Share, that's another 2, and then our 4 Stadium, so that's 8 outs for our Lost Vacuum. So being able to get to 7 more aggressively, or even 10 more aggressively, especially getting 7 more aggressively versus Iron Hands, if that's if that's hitting into your board, those Lost Vacuums will be especially important for that. I mentioned the Ultra Ball, just a little bit more search, because we do lose VIP Pass, so a little bit more search for the Scumpies, and then it also gives us the ability to run the Minion. Another thing with Water Energies is that we can actually Mirage Gate onto the Minion and attack with it to put it back into the deck, which is a pretty strong effect too. 120 isn't bad, especially when you just like Promoto Comfy or something you don't care about. So I think the Minion is pretty good alongside the Ultra Ball. I mentioned Prime Catcher. And yeah, it's pretty much the list. I think this deck is going to be pretty cool. At least it's going to be pretty fun. I already played a game with one of my friends of this sort of style of deck, and it was really, really fun. So I'm pretty eager for this deck. Prime Catcher is an amazing card. And yeah, that's me to do it for the video, guys. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, just to let me know what you think about this kind of deck. I'm pretty excited for it. And that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next one.